Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today, it's a rainy morning and I just got a load of logs dumped in and I'm just getting out of bed because I was on a night shift last night. And anyways, if you guys want to stay tuned, today on the channel, I'm going to just take you through a quick little step-by-step. The seams won't match up because it's raining right now, so as I show you things and tape them, I'm just going to show you the little procedure that some of us do up here. You know, some of you guys, a lot of you guys that watch my channel, you already know what slasher ends is. Some people call them logs. They're not really logs, they're just the ends from when the big processor, you know, what they can't use. So we buy them and they come in a big dump truck load. And I'll show you the little procedure and what equipment I use personally. I use some safety equipment because I don't cut processed firewood every day. So I'll give you a little quick rundown of what I use. And yeah, I'll explain what we do with these logs as we do them. So for a lot of you guys, this is nothing new, but you know what? There might be a few guys out there, a few people watching my channel that, you know, it's a different place in the world and you don't have to deal with these, cut your wood every year for your winter time, you know what I mean? But anyway, guys, if you're interested, just stay tuned and I'll give you a little rundown on something a little bit different for the channel, but it's something the Badger does every year or every 2 years. Get a couple loads in and process, and I'm usually good for 2 years. And it's thunder and lightning today, guys. So I won't be videoing anything outside. I was going to just video the load of logs, but then we got a really quick shower in. So I'll check back with you guys in a bit and give you just a little rundown. Thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for coming. Okay, guys. This is right in my my yard, not far from the house. And these just got dropped off today. It's raining, by the way, so we won't be. And I can honestly tell you, this is a nice load of wood here because of the diameter of the wood. It's not really big, so you lose some in your volume, I guess. But as a one-man show that handles these things, this is a wicked good, nice size load because it looks like this is about the biggest, which is not unbearable. So I should be a safe bet to get 4 cord of wood out of this. And what a cord of wood is, I'll show you how we call it cording wood, or, you know, there's a little, I use a bush stick. That's the way I was taught. And this little bush stick is 4 feet high exactly. So a cord of wood is 16 inches. Each piece is supposed to be about 16 inches long. And you make it 4 feet high, and 24 feet long is 1 cord of wood. There's a straggler I won't have to cut because my furnace downstairs takes really long wood. I can put, it's crazy the length, but this load of wood here to cut, I feel like it's going to be pretty quick because it's not big wood. And I'll show you the tools I use. I use a pulp hook, and that's just another slang term from probably up here. It was pulp wood, 4-foot pieces of pulp, and they'd use a hook to hook the end of it, and they'd grab the other end. That's how they pile pulp. I use a pulp hook, and I use what we call a peavey, and that's just basically a wedge to roll these things. And I'll show you those the day when we're going to cut. And I wear some cutter pants, which are basically Kevlar lined. And I do have a story behind that. I am on pair number 2, because believe it or not, the first pair I had for over 20 years. And one day I was out in the actual woods by myself cutting some trees. And I had just bought my brand new chainsaw, the second one, the big one, to cut these. And I was taking the limbs off some trees, which I should have knew better, but I wanted to break the saw in. I was on the 1st or 2nd tank of gas. And anyways, all of a sudden the engine was bogging out, and you'll have to forgive me, guys. It's raining. It was just like burr, burr. It was bogging out, and I looked down, and right between my legs, the bar, which is the part that holds the chain, it was full of Kevlar strands right in my thigh, really close to the artery. And I remember I didn't even shut the saw off, like, because it was stalled out. I just moved the saw, and I could see my leg. There was no cut. And I remember looking up at the sky and shutting the saw off, like that was it. Because you cut your Kevlar pants, the strands go in the clutch of the saw, stalls it out. It did exactly what it was supposed to do, even though they were 20 years old. So I went and I bought a brand new pair a couple years ago because they saved my life once. So that was the point of my story, and that's why I use some safety gear here. Even though I'm close to the house, most times I do this, the wife is working. So it's not like rocket science what we do to this. It's just you need some pretty decent equipment in the way of chainsaws or wood splitters, because that's what we split the wood with once we make it to length. Which this is a really nice example. It might be a tad long, but not long enough for me to cut to length. So yeah. This will be a bit different video, and like I said, this is like a game of sticks here, because you see how this one is laying? Well, this one I would, what we call, bucket up right here into lengths, whatever I would want, because you see, if the chain doesn't hit the ground on the chainsaw tends to stay sharp, unless you hit a muddy piece like that little guy down here. But I'm sure the rain will wash it off. So yeah. Normally these logs, slash-rins, are much, much bigger in diameter. And this load just isn't. But I mean, the guy on the truck, in which you call my friend Allison. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. We do a little call, and usually I pay the fella, and as soon as a load comes up my way, he dumps it off. So probably in a week, I am going to, I'm probably going to order us another load. So that would make probably, I figure we should get a solid 4-cord out of this load, maybe a little bit better. And usually in the house home here, we don't have a secondary heat. We use a wood furnace, and that's what we heat our home with. So usually I use between 4 and 5 cord for a whole winter, which is not too bad. This would have been a good day for a camp, but sometimes I just can't camp. I have to actually do stuff, and I will admit this year I'm late getting that wood on the ground, because I've still got, I still need to cut it, and I need to have it piled and let the air at it for probably at least a month and a half maybe, before I put it in, and that's what we call seasoning it, seasoned wood. Now this isn't a good season because I am late, but it's better than cutting it. Sorry, because I'm trying to keep the camera of the rain. It's better than cutting it and just throwing it right in the basement. Willie's looking for cover. So anyway, guys, yeah. Walking in the rain with the Badger. Chainsaws I use the brand Steel chainsaws. I have really, really good luck with those. Those are really good saws. Come on back. And those well, sorry guys. Those I bought brand new, both saws, and they're probably, sorry guys, those things are probably 10 years old now. So anyway guys, on the next video clip, I'm sure the weather will be better. And I'll show you some safety gear related to what we do when we cut wood. So thanks a lot for coming, guys. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the little channel. We sure would appreciate it. Leave us some comments. See you in a bit, guys. Okay, guys, it's the next day, and I'll just give you a little rundown of my oil, my gas. This is just a little powder fire extinguisher for when you're cutting wood. And this is like a multi-tool for chainsaws. I bought it at the local chainsaw shop. I've had it for years. There's even a plug wrench that was on there. And it's a good quality. The size of the saws is to each his own, guys. You know, I've got me personally, there's a 211 steel there. And that was the first one. Gee, I shouldn't have took those out, guys. My wife bought me the little one for my birthday when we first got together because I was using a snowmobile. Anyways, camping and things. And then I bought this big one, 311, to do the slasher ends, and I changed the chain, the bar, to a 18 inch instead of a 16. Now what I use for safety equipment, guys, glasses, some sort of gloves. That's just me. And these are those Kevlar pants I was telling you guys about. Give you a little fashion shot here. But anyway, these are Kevlar strands here. And that's the ones I wear because, like I said, my last pair, well, they did their job. Not just for the ears, but it does help with the ears because them saws get kind of loud after a while. This is a kind of a big deal. I don't know if the camera will show it, but the black paint is all off it and it's rusty because that's my sweat. But when you're cutting wood, depending on what way the wind is blowing, it'll blow those shavings right back in, wood chips right back in your face. This is just a pair of chaps, also Kevlar. You know, you could use these. I choose to use these ones because the big saw is fast. These, I don't know, I'm not going to tell you I didn't use them. I tend to use them around the splitter a lot, guys. Because I find for the splitter, it helps with the blocks. But anyway, that's what I use. This is what I call a pulp hook. And this is what I was brought up to call a PV. I don't know what the proper name is. And basically you just hook your logs and you can roll them and move them. Because even a small fella like me, excuse me, with that I can move them around, and that load is small anyway, but even the bigger stuff, because it just acts with leverage. So okay, guys, probably the only thing I will do for the rest of this one is honestly, I might just get a few shots of me cutting, but outside of that, maybe we could demonstrate the cord stick. I did not show you this. I told you about it. That stick is 4 foot. So that's how high it's got to be, a cord. And then we just use it like, say, this way, end over end, to measure 4 feet at a time. 4 foot increments. It's kind of weird. We're Canadian, but we measure, you know, I've never heard of how many centimeters a cord of wood is. Or cord might be a standard measurement. Yeah, anyways, I don't know. But anyways, we measure our cords of wood by a foot per foot, 4 feet increments. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, guys, I'm kind of anxious to get my saws going. It's been, actually I didn't even cut any last year. The year before I cut up 2 loads. So I'm kind of anxious to get them going and, you know, get things going, get some fresh gas in them and get underway. So I'll touch base back in a bit with you guys, and sure appreciate you sticking around, guys. Thanks a lot. Whew. Well, guys, I took the cutting with the saw, the big saw, and well, this wood isn't real big compared to, you know, what we're used to. So I'm trying to stay hydrated because I sweat a lot more running the saw this morning, but this is basically the procedure we go through. We go around the pile and you kind of line up your cuts here. And you can see I didn't really plan on cutting that much, but the diameter of it and the length is all over the board, guys, because you either have a bunch of those little nubbies, which I recycle. Like I don't recycle, it's not the right word, but I process them down small for my little titanium stove, and I use them for my fall and winter camps because it's really nice hardwood. But this year what I'm trying to do, that's why my piles, the length is all over the place. Like you can see, some is extremely long, but I'll split this one down enough so, you know, it won't be too hard to deal with. And these I call the nubbins. Well, I split those down. Now you can see some of them aren't very long, but you got to trim the wood down to make, you know, 2 decent pieces or 2 really long pieces, and sometimes you just have them, you got no choice. So I process those down especially small. Shit. Got a straggler here, guys. And believe it or not, for as green as this wood is at the ends, when the air hits it for a couple days, it just turns like a golden color. And there's how we use the pulp hook. Pretty much speaks for itself. But you got to be careful with those that you don't stab yourself in the leg. It's very easy to do. This is what I do with my shavings from the chainsaw. I take one of my dollar store fire cubes and I light it, and this will smolder away, and it makes a really nice mosquito smoke, so I don't have to deal with the mosquitoes. So I got my daughter coming up for a visit this weekend, so this is the only wood processing I'm going to do. So the next time I film, guys, will be just a clip of the splitter, processing it down and splitting it. I mean, a lot of you guys have seen this before, but you know what? There might be people that watch my channel that doesn't do this. So it's part of what we do up here. So anyway, guys, in the next one we should probably have the splitter out, or maybe we'll just get a little, my friend Brenda riding her Harley. Yeah, so the next time I might get a little clip of me running the chainsaw, like just to give you guys a just, like I'd line these logs up, as many as I could with the pulp hook here, so that when I start the saw, I just go around and we call it bucking it up. And I will admit today I had a lot more bucked up than I thought. I took a pretty good chunk out of this load today, but when the diameter of the wood isn't big, it doesn't take very long at all. And this wood is just not, it's not big what we're used to, but it is nice to handle for me. I don't have to try to contend with something that is normally the size of a truck tire. So anyway, guys, this would be step 1 in the little process, and step 2 will be the splitting part. But like I said, maybe the next time I light the saw up, I'll just set the little camera up and get 15 or 20 seconds of the old steel ripping through this stuff. Ain't really working hard, I'll tell you that. And I am glad I put the extra 2 inches on the bar to bring it up to 18-inch chain instead of 16, because that saw was always wild. Like it wasn't. It needed more chain because it could take it, you know. Now it tamed it down a bit. And I probably could have did a 20, but I didn't want to get greedy. And anyways, just to go that 2 inches to have to replace the bar and the chain, just the bar was, I think, $80 just for that. 2 inches more on that bar. But anyways, enough gabbing and going. It's hard work, guys, and I sweat a lot, but I truly do. I really do enjoy this. This is physical. I enjoy it. And this stuff is easy. This is the, geez, if you've seen what we did before here, it's... But anyways, thank you. And the next time we will either be sawing some or splitting some. So, see you in a bit. Okay, guys. I got the splitter just idling. I'm just going to ramp it up a little bit, split a few blocks. Just to show you guys, once we round it up like this, we buck it up. And then we just, we split it according to what size we want. Some of mine I make it small, I kind of mix it. And like I told you guys before, you can see the length of the wood is all over the place, but it's for me for the winter. So anyways, we go from this stage to piling it, and then when it's dry enough, we put it in the basement. So until next time, keep on cutting wood with the Badger. Thanks a lot, guys.